Welcome back to Anno 1800. In the last episode, we of course finished up the farmer and worker island of Wolliton. I haven't gotten any good name suggestions for the island as of yet, so I think we're just going to stick with Wolliton at least until someone or myself come up with a better name for the island. There was one comment that I noticed, and thank you so much. I don't remember who commented, but I am very grateful for it. It was in relation to Route 28 in the old world, where I had accidentally managed to put these goods on unload on the island of Pumu Industry. That has been rectified, so we are now transporting concrete, windows, steel beams, bricks and timber from Pumu Industry to both Wolliton and the Throne of Wiv. You may notice that concrete is getting a bit low on Pumu Industry, but both Wolliton and Throne of Wiv are full, and 12,150 is kind of ridiculous. It is the highest storage I've ever had on a single island in any Anno game I've ever played. But I'm not complaining. So anyways, Pumu Industry should start to balance out, or rather to fill up again on concrete now, because I do believe the ship is mostly full on that. There was also the specialists for fish that I talked about at the end of the last episode. Now, we are currently producing 40 tons of fish per minute on the island of Wolliton. So I have built the 2 Harbour Master's offices, and let's just equip the items. We have 1 Pedro, Captain of the Panama, 1 Captain Moby, Old Dog of the Sea, and 1 long-range bottom troll. So what these guys do is they add... as Pedro, he adds 1 fish every 5 cycles to each of these 10 buildings. He adds 1 calamari every 7 cycles, and he adds 1 fish oil every 4 cycles, in addition to reducing the workforce by 20%, and the maintenance cost increases by 75%. The maintenance cost is irrelevant. It's 66 versus 36, so whatever.
A fire broke out.
Now what? Of course it is in Anbeza. Let's just quickly build a fire station. And canal. And we can just leave that. It'll sort itself out. If some of the buildings burn down, we'll get a message about ruins. So that's Pedro. When it comes to Captain Moby, he increases the productivity of the fisheries and also gives us 1 tallow every 5 cycles and 1 gold every 7 cycles. And of course the long-range bottom troll just increases the productivity by 40% and reduces the workforce needed by 50%. Which, I mean, that is not just. It is actually quite significant bonus. Even though these buildings don't have that many workers, 25, it's still nice to have them down to 7 when farmers and workers are the point of this island. Now, that alone, just for these 10 buildings, puts us at 66 tons of fish. We also have 9 tons of fish oil, 5 tons of calamari. We have 8 tons of tallow and 5 tons of gold. So it's a very nice addition. So if we do the same up here, we just add these 3 to this Harbour Master. We are up to 91 tons of fish, we have 19 tons of fish oil, 11 tons of calamari, 15 tons of tallow, and 11 tons of gold. I don't know if we're going to need any of those, but I mean, the gold could potentially be used for trading in the docklands, even though I do have advanced weapons sent over to this island, so I don't think the gold will be used for anything, because I need to buy the gold from the pirates, because that makes them happy, and I'm not using gold for anything as of yet. Now, the next thing is the museum collections and also the zoo, but before we go to that, I do have a time-lapse for you. One thing that I should mention is that I have noticed that the game is starting to lag. You guys don't see it because it's an overlay in Ubisoft Connect, but currently when I'm hovering here I have 47 frames per second. It doesn't really affect the game much when I'm zoomed in. Well, actually it does, it's up to 60. But the moment I start zooming in or out, it drops down to 30. So this distance is enough to get 43 frames per second. So even if I have the maximum zoom, noticed here, I'm still at 41 frames per second, 43. So the zoom distance doesn't really matter all that much. It's just that there's a lot of stuff going on in this area. But yeah, I've built a zoo. Now that zoo won't be able to contain all the animal collections, so we are going to need another zoo, maybe even 2 more zoos on the island to get all the animal collections in. But I'm using the mod that enables me to have the zoo modules not being connected to the main building, because that gives me the opportunity to make the zoo look more organic, but it also gives it a range, kind of like a town hall range or any building that has a circular range around it, which you will see when I do the time lapse. So let's just jump into the time lapse then, shall we? So, here we are. I don't think you guys noticed.
Fire left ruins behind.
It did it. I don't think you guys noticed. You may have noticed it there. It's like the game is a little bit sluggish. But when I was... Yeah, it's definitely sluggish when I shift theaters. When I tried to delete the little road bits here and up here, it didn't register. I might have had the demolish hotspot on the wrong tile the first time I tried it. I'm not sure, but the game just is a bit sluggish. It might be one of the mods that I installed in the last episode. I could try to disable those again, because it did appear after that. So, but yeah, we will, or rather, I will take a look at it. I don't remember if I'm actually using any of those mods yet. The ones that I added was, let me just quickly open the documents, docs, google.com. Have a quick look at what I did add, and if I am using any of them. I added the Old World Cathedral, Wibblesocks Parish, and then the No Explosions from Taladas. It seems weird that any of those should affect the game, but you never know. It might be that there is a UID or something that is wreaking havoc. I did have some issues with the church. Like here, if I set this to this skin and I click Shift V, it's just stuck. I have to be on this skin to be able to change, but that applies to all of them. But I noticed that some of the churches had changed to this by default. Like this one, I never changed this. This was... Yeah, see here. This was this specific skin, and then it just decided that it wanted to be this. So it might be that one. I'm going to test it before next episode, and we'll see if it makes any difference, but I kind of doubt it. Now, as for the collections, what I have done also in between episodes is that I have collected up every single item that we need, except for 2, because I can't get those until we finish Trelawney. And I don't plan on finishing Trelawney on camera. I'm going to do the Trelawney stuff off camera and then just show you the results of that, because it's basically the same island we're on, and I vaguely remember that that collection is actually quite good. It's the Battle of Trelawney. It's something to ship speed or something like that. But I'm not going to use that island for much anyways, so I don't see the point of maintaining that in the actual series. So I'll just show you what I built there. There's some minimums that I have to build, so and so many artisans, so and so many engineers, and so many investors. I do think I have to build the World's Fair there, but I can just do that between sessions, or between episodes, that is. You've seen me do it before, and it's not critical to see me doing it again. But let's start adding these to this museum. So we have the Monkey Tooth Amulet. Let's just use the search field here.
Do you call it altruism?
Monkey Tooth Amulet. We have Juanita, the mummy. The game definitely is a bit more sluggish. So this gives us plus 5% visits, increasing in the public moorings, and also increases the chance of specialists go away, and also increases the chance of specialists visiting our island, and it also opens up some more unique specialists. Not that I think that matters that much to us anymore, but it's still nice. Then we have the origin of mankind. We need to add the Neanderthal skull or skeleton. This gives us plus 10% productivity in all fisheries, crop farms, animal farms, hunting cabins, orchards, and lumberjack huts, and also reduces the workforce and maintenance by 5%. That's nice. And I'm not sure if it's the game itself that has been added or modified so that these now affect the entire theater we're in, or if it's a mod I'm using. But whatever it is, I'm very happy that I don't have to collect these or make these individually and then build museums, like say this one, on every island where I would need those bonuses. Next up is the Skull and Bones, where we need the Cutlass of Brownbeard. Oop, there we go. This gives us, for all warships, +3 movement speed, -5% maintenance cost, and -10% damage slowdown. Then we have the Lost Cities, where we need to add Takal's Necklace. There we go. This gives us 100% more harbor activity. That's the passive traders like Archibald and so forth. And every time a passive trade happens at a trading post, there is a chance to gain 5 tons of gold or jewelry. So that's a handy little thing. Northern Sagas, we need to add the Altar of Oopsie Daisy, and we need to add the Heimskringla. So first of all, Oopsie Daisy, which would basically translate to English as Whoopsie Daisy, but I kind of guess you all figured that already. Heimskringla. Not Heimskringla. So the Northern Sagas also affects all warships, +5% hit points and +3% damage per shot. Then we have Jurassic. We need to add the Ammonites. We need to add a T-Rex. I think I have that there. We need to add a Stegosaurus. That should be right down there. And then we need to add an Apatosaurus. And that affects all residences, +10 happiness and +10 income per house. Is that actually significant? Oh yes, yeah, that is very significant. We're currently making 512,000. When I put this thing in, we're up to 568,000. So yeah, that is definitely significant. For the Bronze Age, we need to add the Tara Brooch.
Your city has grown more beautiful.
That apparently, in fact, yeah. All lumberjack huts, hunting cabins, quarries and orchards, +5% productivity, +5 attractiveness, and then 1 each every 10 cycles of wood, furs, saltpeter, quartz, sand, clay and cement. That one is really nice actually. Even though these are cheap goods to import in the Docklands, I like that one. Battle of Trelawney, we cannot complete it because I do not have these 2 items and they are unobtainable, except for Trelawney. So the final one then will be the Temple of Poseidon in the Atlantean collection. I can just go up and find it. It should be there. And the Atlantean gives us, it affects the Salvager, so not really that relevant. I'm not diving anyways, but that means we have all except for the Battle of Trelawney done, and we are at 8,782 attractiveness from the museum. And we got several prestige levels from this because every time we complete one of those, we also get additional attractiveness. So we're up to 17,090. I believe we were at 13,800 or something before this. So the 140 island workforce per town hall, 560 tons of storage. Yeah, we went up nearly 1,000 in storage thanks to that. Which means Pumo Industries is not going to get concrete anytime soon in its storage. Okay, then we have the zoo. So I have completed all of the sets, as you can see, but I cannot fit all of them in here. I don't know what they do, so let's just start out with Condor, Spectacled Bear, and an alpaca. Cordillera gives us +10% workforce and +10% income per house for all farmers, jornaleros, and that's it. So this one, well, the 10% workforce is actually relevant, so we'll keep that. Then we have the Tiger Forest. We need a brown bear. We need a black bear. Can't type today, apparently. And we need an elk. Affects all residences, goods consumption for all foods at -5%. And that's good. Extinct species. Kolponomos. Whatever that is. A giant deer. And a direwolf. All zoological gardens plus 10% attractiveness, and also writers from all over your city will gather around all zoological gardens to offer you unique quests. That doesn't even make sense. But yeah, that put us at 1199, so 18,289 attractive. We're going to cross 20,000 here. Ocean Predator. So how has this... Oh, it actually has filled up in the order I placed down the modules. Nice. I'm not sure if this is going to be these three or these three. I wish I could just drop... Oh, I can! I thank you, game. Because then I can have, like, thematic areas of the park. Which is good. I want to turn this one around, and I want to turn that one and that one around. These are fine. This one seems to be unique. Can I swap these two out the same way? No, target has no space. So if I want to do that, I need to do this, and then this. Okay. So should I keep this one? I think I should. Ocean predators. We have an orca, a swordfish, and a great white shark. So orca, swordfish, and great white shark. This gives all coastal production buildings plus 10 productivity, -5% workforce needed, and -10% maintenance cost. That is also quite nice. And these should now be down here. To turn this one around. And I also want to turn that one around. The next collection then is rainforest. We need to start with a black jaguar. Then we have a pink river dolphin. We have a pelican. We have another jaguar. We have a black caiman. Was that green? No, I think it was blue. No, it's actually... What? No, it is blue. Is it not? Oh, it is there. Why wasn't it alphabetically sorted? And an iguaca.
Your city has grown more beautiful.
All trade unions plus 30% attractiveness. At Pumu Industry immediately reached a new attractiveness level, and our main island also. We are at 2,000, so yeah. So I think I want to move the river dolphin here. No, actually, I want to move the river dolphin there. There we go. And I also want to turn that one around. And that one. Not the road. That's that one. And then we have snowflakes. Let's begin with the white tiger. Then we have the albino fennec. We have a baiji. We have an albino alligator. Which I seem to be, yeah, because it's purple and not legendary. We have a white peacock. And we have an albino gorilla. That's a lot of legendaries. All zoological gardens, -50% maintenance cost and plus 20% attractiveness. Yeah, we're definitely keeping that one as well. It's more attractiveness. Eastern jungle, we have a kital. We have a peacock. We have a tiger. Or many of them actually, because of Benta. We have an eastern elephant. There we have a crocodile. And we have an eastern water buffalo. Affects all trading posts and piers. Another 100% harbor activity. Every time passive trade happens at the trading post, there is a chance to gain 5 tons of coffee beans, sugarcane, tobacco, cotton, cocoa, caoutchouc, plantains, pearls, chocolate, coffee, fried plantains, tortillas, or sugar. That's a mouthful of a list. I mean, the passive trade bonus there is rare, but still. This might be a good thing to have in a zoo in the New World as well. Domestic animals. We have cattle. We have a chicken. We have a goat. We have a horse. We have a domestic pig. And we have a sheep. This affects all animal farms, plus 5% productivity and minus 10% in maintenance cost. And I kind of feel that this one doesn't belong in this zoo, so we're going to take them all out again. Moving on to the Great Coral Reef, we have the bottlenose dolphin. We have seahorses, a lionfish, a manta ray, a balloonfish, and a green turtle. Affects worker residence, artisan residence, obrero, and those are the 3. Plus 2 happiness and plus 2 attractiveness. Yeah, we can keep that one here. But now we're starting to run out of space, and we also have some thematic, or some of these do not really make sense anymore. I would like to gather these for water based, so I'll put the seahorses in that. Oh, anyways, let's move that one there, move the bottlenose dolphin there, and then we can move the seahorse to that one. Same with this. It's just that it's turned around. That might actually work. If I put the lionfish there temporarily, then move it back down there. So we get a line of water-based exhibits on this line. I also feel they would look better going that way. I'm not sure. So yeah, there's an entrance there, and they can. So that's the looking platform, I guess. Now we have. No, not that. That was the wrong thing. Now we have the next page here. We have luminaries. So we need a deep sea dragonfish. That was actually the wrong one. You should be there. Deep sea dragonfish, and the firefly squid, which is also blue. Luminaries affects the pub, variety theatre, members club, all shopping arcades, all restaurants that are non-monuments, so it doesn't include the Iron Tower, and the subway station. Do I have a subway station? Anyhow, plus 3 attractiveness. Subway station. What? Okay. Whatever you say, game. Boreal caribou. That's the Arctic. So where did that end up? It ended up here. I'm not sure if I want to retain that one, actually. It is attractiveness, but I don't have that many pubs or... Well, I do... No? I'm going to have it here on the island anyway sometime, but I just don't think it is important enough. No, I'm gonna take that out again. We are at 22,421. So if I take out one of these... Yeah, it isn't relevant. That's what I thought. It doesn't really do that much. Okay. Now I need to click down here. Boreal caribou. And a musk ox. We actually have those in Norway. They are imported though. And an Arctic wolf. Affects all public moorings with 100 attractiveness and 5% increased visits, and also increases the chance of specialists. So yeah, we're going to keep that one. Teeming lakes. Starts out with a grey-crowned crane. Goes on with the hippopotamus. And finally the flamingo. All coastal production buildings plus 20% productivity. We're going to take that one out again. We don't need that right now. Great desert. We need a dromedary. Not an impala. I misclicked there. We also need a fennec. And we need an emperor scorpion. Affects all fire stations. 30% extinguish speed, 10% range, and minus 10 happiness for the mobilize requirement. Is that critical? Not really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 3. So I'm going to have to take one of these. Okay, I'm going to go with the Great Desert then. Dromedary, Fennec, and Emperor Scorpion. Okay, next up, and this one is very important. The Kraken. My good friend. I am, after all, the Lord of Tentacles, so... Or so some people call me. Goblin Shark. Black Swallower. Blobfish. Helmet Jellyfish. And a Prickly Sea Devil. And there we are. This one affects the salvager. Increased chance of finding animals, diving bell rarity, and blah blah blah. That's a shame. I really wanted to have the Kraken in this zoo. I believe the Kraken... Yeah, the Kraken does... No, it doesn't. I thought it had its own, but apparently it doesn't. There is this... There's a wreck in all of them. Oh, the Kraken does have its own. You can see it down there. Swimming around. Not sure what the rock is for, though. Has a different ship. Or shipwreck. But yeah, I'm not going... Let's make... because I need... I want to have all of the animal collections and all of the botanical garden collections and all of the museum collections on this island to maximize the amount of attractiveness we get from the island here. And these, it's all zoological gardens. All zoological gardens. So it doesn't really matter if I have multiple zoos. So we're going to take these out again, and they're going to have a different home. Polar Circle. We have the narwhal. We have an Arctic fox. Those are so cute. The Great Auk. A walrus, also known as a woolly. The polar bear. And of course, a ringed seal. Affects Fur Dealer, Framework Knitters, Bombin Weaver, Poncho Darner, and Tailor's Shop. Plus 25% productivity and minus 25% maintenance cost. I'm not convinced by that one either, and since we can only have 3 of these, I'm going to take that out so we can see what the final 3 does before we make a final decision. I know I could look this up, but I kind of want you guys to be able to follow. Bearded Vulture. And Basin Wolf, Two-Horned Chameleon, Mountain Nyala, Oryx, and Gelada. Affects Scholar Residence. Minus 10% seafood stew and minus 10% hibiscus tea consumption. That one we are definitely going to keep. It also thematically makes sense that we have that near the Scholar or Research Institute and student campus town, I suppose. Proud Savannah. We need an Imperial zebra. We need a spotted hyena. We need the wildebeest. Cheetah. The lion. And the ostrich. This affects all cattle farms, alpaca farms, powered pastures, and Nandu farms, and gives them plus 25% productivity, reduces the number of modules by 25%, and 1 extra good of whatever it's producing every 3rd cycle. This one is insane. Geesh, that. Okay, well then. I guess we're keeping that. And here I was thinking we would remove all the animal farms. Maybe I'll need to rethink that. But that is actually a plan in... I don't think we will... I'm not sure if we'll have time for it in this episode, but it's definitely a plan to remove all of the animal farms and start importing the wool and pigs from Docklands. Finally, we have the Mayombo Woodlands. We start out with a wild dog, and then an impala. It was blue, wasn't it? Another prestige level, a caracal. I love caracals. Too bad they are not allowed in Norway as pets. Then again, it would be kind of inconvenient to have as a pet. Giraffe. Alnilana would love that. And then we have the elephant. And finally, the black rhino. All lumberjack huts, charcoal kilns, hunting cabins, and all orchards get +5 attractiveness and +10% forest density. I don't think the forest density matters when I'm using the mod that I'm using for the orchards. And while that mod might be slightly cheaty in terms of how it's built up, at the same time I kind of feel that the way that the default game orchard mechanic is, you just get these ridiculously ugly islands where you go away. Where you get something like this. You have to build the orchards like this, you have to have this in here, you have to use specific specialists. And you know what? Yes, that would take less space. Well, actually the orchards would grow further out than the forest. But personally, I think this is better. Some of you might agree, some of you might not. I actually genuinely feel this is better. So what these do is this does reduce the number of modules. So yes, it does actually reduce the number of modules. And have I built any orchards? I have built orchards in the old world. Yeah, the game is definitely lagging. So now it's down to... No, it doesn't. 160 of 160. And this is an orchard. 160 out of 160. So this here reduces the number of modules. But when it comes to... I definitely said it reduced the number of modules, didn't it? No, it's the forest density. So it doesn't affect the modded version. Okay, so for our other zoos, we would need 6 modules for this one. 12, 18, 24 more modules for the zoo. So I need to make either 1 or 2 more zoos on this island for the remaining 24 modules. But yeah, here we now have a zoo on our island, and we are up to 24,847 attractiveness, which I have to say I feel is a little bit. And I'm fairly happy with that. It is the highest amount of attractiveness I have ever had on an island. I am fairly certain of that fact. I'm not sure what I felt about this little Chinatown thing down here in the corner, but it's kind of breaking things up a little bit, and yeah. This kind of also makes sense, a little eating area with a balloon ride and this nice little fountain to look at. Of course, I did build the bus stop in here, so this is not going to be the Cross Keys. This is going to be the Imperial Zoo, and then if we have 1 or 2 other zoos, they will have different names. I'm mildly amused that the museum is at 96%, considering it's just over there. Almost see it in the distance there. But I guess the road is a little bit too far off. If we go to this one, it's the same with the Variety Theatre and the zoo. I'm not completely sure on how these work, to be honest. Like this one down here, it's 97, 96, 98. And yeah, go to this one, 95, 95. But it has perfect access to the rest. The palace, 100% access to the palace, which is the one that is furthest away, all the way up there. So yeah, I'm not sure. 840 tons of island storage per harbour master's office. It was up to 14,950. 210 island workforce per town hall. 76,000 engineers. 84% chance of receiving visiting specialists at the public mooring. 42% productivity for production buildings within the range of trade union, and 42 area of influence for all public buildings. 42! Oh, we like the number 42, but that means I could potentially just tear down half of my hospitals here, because they have such a vast range. Anyhow, I'm not going to do that. It would look kind of weird. Now, the next thing that I wanted to do is to get rid of, once and for all, the schnapps industry on this island. So let's do that. We do not need it anymore. We can then remove these. Now we have to check our productions. The zoo have affected a lot of this, so we need to add Pumu Industry, and we need to add Runes and Distilleries. And actually, we also need to add Palacio Viv and King William Island. And Wallyton. There we go. Need to check the trade routes, but I'll do that after the episode, I think. Fish. We have ample fish.
This city is a magnet for genius.
I'm a bit confused by the need for just 11 schnapps, but it's fine. Work clothing, we are doing good on that, but we might be tricked by the New World, because I know I have some specialists down in the New World that do create work clothes. But we're fine. Sausages, we are fine. Cheese, we're importing, so that's good. Bread, we are producing the bread on... Is it Pepsile? Yeah. So we have ample bread, we have ample soap, we have ample beer, good. We have... Well, I might need some more canned food eventually. Sewing machines is fine. We did a couple more of those in the last episode together with the penny farthings. Rum, I need to turn off the New World to just be sure. Very close on rum, and I need to transport rum from Runes and Distilleries to the Throne of Viv. We also need to build more schnapps distilleries on Runes and Distilleries. Fur coats we are good on. Spectacles, that's an interesting one. We are going to need more spectacles very soon. Penny farthings, we are definitely good on that. Pocket watches, we get that as a byproduct, and we are just fine. Coffee, no problem at all. Light bulbs, fine-ish. Would like more, but it's okay. It's ish the level where I prefer to have them. Chewing gum is just fine. Typewriters is just fine. Biscuits, fine. Violence is more than fine. Champagne, no problem at all, especially due to that specialist. That basically just ignores the consumption altogether. Cigars is fine. Chocolate is fine. Gramophones, fine. Steam carriages, we are going to need more steam carriages, but not yet. Babies, toys, just fine. Billiard tables, fine. Cognac, fine. Leather boots, tailored suits, and bomb bins. I need to remove that just to check the bomb bins. Yep, no problem at all. Hibiscus tea. I'm going to have to add tabarine. No problem. Stew food C, not an issue. Nor the seafood stew. Tapestries, no problems. Telephones, also good. Clay pipes, yep. And the others are not needed up here because I haven't added lifestyles to our people just yet. So yeah, the only thing that I really saw there that I know I have to do is set up a route for rum. So we'll go up to the distilleries and we'll add some more schnapps distilleries to the island. That's 4, 5, 6. I think that'll do for now. We might need to add another warehouse here and there, but I honestly think we are good. These are overloaded as is. How is the fire chance? Low. And I have eliminated the chance of explosions. However, what I do see is that it could be beneficial. Why do I have that? Oh, that's why I have that road. What could be beneficial is to do this and this, then this. Then we remove that. This works better at least, because this is what I had issues with when I was building the zoo. Now we can do the same over here. We can remove the road between there just to make it look a bit prettier. And then we can add a road there, and then we can add a fire station here. We won't get any immediate effect for that. But yeah, this is still covering... Yeah, so this is the outlying corner of that. I might want to move that fire station one more over, eventually. But there's ample room for distilleries both up here, some up there, and also out here. I can always add another trade union for that matter. But I did want to have a fire station... I was thinking here. Not exactly like that, but almost. There we go. Okay, so what's this island now producing? 237 tons of schnapps, 79 tons of rum, and 59 tons of ethanol. If I add on Palazzo with... Yeah, we are ethanol. We're fine. Now, when it comes to the schnapps, however, that's another story. Are we getting enough schnapps off this island? Because if we're producing 204, we need to have a look at the statistics here quickly. Here we go. Trade routes. Okay, so it's every 4 minutes. We're producing above 200. We need another ship on this route. So this is Old World 27. Now, I'm not bothered with whether or not the ship is, if they are in sync with one another. That is largely irrelevant, because they'll catch up on the materials anyways. So don't worry too much about that. And the Old World, I have a lot of ships in the Old World because I haven't done anything. Oh, I have a ship with items that I have forgotten to empty out. That means I have some double up on animals. Yeah, you see I have a lot of ships up here. There it is, accept. And then we also need to add up trade route 29. Old World 29, ship number 1. Do we... I think the rum kicks in at artisan level. No, it doesn't. It kicks in at... Yeah, it does. It's the beer that kicks in at worker level. But that's... We are using Gordon, so we don't really need to care about beer. So let's just set up that route quickly. Just get the correct boat. Number 29. Open the trade menu. Old World 29. And then Old World. We need to add Runesun Distilleries and Throne of Wib. And we need to find rum and deliver that to the Throne of Wib. As for the route for ethanol... Do I have another route for ethanol? Otherwise, I think I do, because the number of ethanol on that island was fairly low. I think I am taking ethanol from the distilleries. No, I'm taking it on the Throne of Wibs. Okay, that means we need Route 30 as well.
New orders.
Otherwise, the ethanol will get stuck on the distillery island. Old World 30, Ship 1. We go into trade routes. And old world 30. Old world here, here. And we find ethanol, load up and unload, accept and go. Okay. Now I'm thinking that since we are nearing the end of the episode, just hold on 2 seconds, please. I have no idea why OBS didn't save or pause there, but that's okay. Let me just test that one more time, just to be sure. Sorry about that. Okay, I need to look into what that is, because that should actually pause the recording. It's probably a hotkey error or something, or maybe it's sending it to the wrong program. I don't know. But yeah, let's have a look at these quests. How could your current situation be improved? Right now, a drink. Sorry, look, I work in an office and we're shoulder to shoulder in there. There's just no privacy. Romantic. What kind of products would you like to see in our stores? That's broad. Well, I moved into a skyscraper apartment. The view is nice and all, but the interiors all look the same. And then the cheapskates. How do you perceive our brand? How can I put this? It's very fancy and grand, but it's also very expensive and intimidating. I feel a little out of place in that swish arcade.
A whole bunch of demanding so-and-sos in that survey. How you put up with them on the daily is beyond me. Let's skim the results. Pick our best seller.
He doesn't have more to say. Good. Let's make a decision. The market research survey results are in. Where did Miss Jenny put my darn notes? Oh well, don't need them. We had some really dull responses. I cherry-picked the data. Maybe 80% want fancy furniture, 75% like luxury stuff, and 20-odd% just want a drink. Yeah, that makes up to 100%. So, my guru, what do you think will make us money? We can say furniture quality and a drink, maybe a minibar, or what I'm going to select. Actually, I'd like to hear what Theodora has to say about the results. What do I think? Well, I must say the method of analysis skewed the results, so I'm intrigued by the percentages you uncovered, Mr. Bader. Well done. Yeah, that makes two of us. If we consider our survey responses, I'd say they want a product to help them personalize their skyscraper apartments and provide a little privacy, while others perceive the Galleria as rather uninclusive and would prefer a range of affordable products. It's hard to define a single product. Maybe our focus should be personalization and affordability. Yes, we have a very diverse customer base. I could write a patent proposal and... Miss Jenny, there's no pleasing everyone. We're here to make a product that sells, and I've run out of talk time. Mr. Guru, you've taught me to follow my instinct, so let's just go in hard on the vanity screens. Decorative, perfect to hide behind, and really, we don't want every kind in our arcades now, do we? So, make it pricey. Unlock the vanity screen patent. Well done us! Now all we need is a flashy poster, and they'll be craving a vanity screen in no time. My guru, we need a slogan. We could play on a sense of luxury or fun. Make it rhyme. Galleria Baderette. Life is a cabaret? That doesn't make sense at all. The height of etiquette. Ah, how creative. They love it. Now all that's missing is a picture of the vanity screen. Miss Jenny, would you... No, not that one. The other one. Yes. Good. See the poster. This is kind of skewed by the mod I'm using for the smaller UI, but still. It has a cat. Let's say that's the good thing about it. It has a cat. And also it seems there's a demon in the tower, but or whatever that is. Cape.
Two
Not gonna...
birds, one cartridge. A brand new patent and a dazzling poster advertisement. While Miss Jenny runs the posters round town, us big dogs can crank up production to meet a deluge of demand.
So that's a furniture store item. I don't know what that does. Let's go have a look at it. The vanity script takes cotton fabric, cherry wood, and lacquer. It reduces the...
Can't be missed. I gave Miss Jenny some time off. She didn't look her usual self.
That's good, Donny. It reduces the consumption of pocket watches and jewelry. It adds +5 happiness to all old world residences except scholar residences. Can I just make you tap you and make you shut up? And it also adds +15% income per house. I'd rather have this one because the light bulb reduction is actually more important. This one would be good too, the writing desk, but eventually I'll try to supply them with all... Go away, please! To have all of them. And then we also have this quest for Miss Jenny. I must hurry. Oh, I do hope the harbour was a good spot to pick. Follow and listen to Miss Jenny. It really would have been preferable to acquire the oils on my own terms, but he seems trustworthy. For someone so focused on modernization, Mr. Bader is peculiarly blind to the future. Women don't shop. Well, I wonder why. So much on my mind and it's all spilling out. Come on, Theodora, take a breath and hurry along. It'll all be over soon. Psst, Dora. Oh, Mr. Brokeman, there you are, very punctual. Dora, please, forgive me. I don't have the oils you asked for. Mr. Bader's doing, I presume? Yes, he's having me watched. I can feel it. I want to help, but I can't lose my livelihood over this. You understand? So... what we can do is, or have to do, is actually take a photo of Miss Jenny's private meeting. Wait, what was that? A camera flash? Oh no! Theodora, you were followed.
Oh, he sent you. Please at least allow me to clarify the situation before you report back to Mr. Bader.
Let's listen to her. Secrecy was my last resort. I pitched my patent to Mr. Bader, used recent arguments, said this would attract women, customers, in their droves to the shopping arcades, but he flat out refused. He said it was an empty market. Well, he's wrong. It's only an empty market because women have yet to be allowed in. This product would be a gateway for us. I'd hoped the prospect of a whole new customer demographic would sway him, but this could be so much more. Men shouldn't hold a monopoly on the modern. Modern conveniences can be tools for social emancipation. Products like mine can normalize women running their own budgets, having agency in the world of commerce. The projected sales figures might yet convince him, but I desperately need to finish the prototype first. Will you help me? You're darn right, Theodora. Something needs to change. I'm in.
Such a relief. I had a feeling you might be of open mind. Mr. Bader, of course, thinks you two are like peas in a pod, but then he only ever sees half the picture. Mr. Broadman had agreed to supply specific oils I required for a new patent I'm developing. As you know, he did not deliver, and without them, I am stumped. Can you help?
So we have...
Time is of the essence now. Mr. Bader's already suspicious, and if there's any hope of making this product on my own terms, it must be underway before he is alerted.
I don't know if she's done yet. Okay, so we have 44 minutes to deliver 15 tons of fish oil and 15 tons of coconut oil. And yes, that means that this episode will be a bit longer than usual, especially since the pause button in OBS doesn't work currently. Grab that, and I also need coconut oil. Go, and you please go back to the old world. If I do that, then that... Can I now pause? I'll try. I had to manually click the pause button in OBS. I need to look into what's going on with that hotkey. Okay, I can't just leave this quest because it's timed, and otherwise I would have to finish it off camera.
Are those my oils?
Yes.
Oh, just in time. I will use it right away. It was only meant to be the last little tweak to finish the prototype.
Okay, so I don't have any quest now. I suspect it's lipstick that she's...
A tincture for all nature's little blemishes.
Because we do have lipstick. It kind of feels that, like, that is the thing that she's going to make. Lipstick requires coke.
My newest patent. You've earned a look. The lipstick. Now to persuade Mr. Bader. Once stocked at the drugstore, it can fulfill its intended purpose.
Seems I was right. And it's a good thing I...
Bit of a surprise you kept your involvement a secret, Guru. You think her kind can be big players in the world of commerce? I suppose I'm gonna have to hold up my hands and trust your superior instincts.
They are a bit talkative, aren't they? But yes, that seems to be it for that quest. And with that, we really have to wrap up the episode. This is like 1 hour, 10 minutes. So if you have any questions and or comments, then please feel free to leave those down in the comment section. And of course, if you want to just help out with the YouTube algorithm, then please consider just leaving an emoji or a little funny comment or joke with something down there. If you liked the video, then please consider clicking the like button. And I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you all in the next one.